Mai ka pi'ina a ka la I ha'e a ka mole olu o lehua. Aloha mai kako o wau o Hiʻilani Shibata. And today we are going to be talking about one of the most historic mo'olelo that really, really tugs at our heartstrings. And it's because it's with our King Kamehameha. So he was prophesied before he was born to be this great king that unifies all of the islands under one rule. And his journey is just filled with so much wonder. He's a young Kamehameha, and he's in the town of Hilo. And he had a battle and he lost. And he was so filled with rage that his retainers and him went on their canoe in Hilo, and they started to race down the coast towards Keaukaha. And if you know Keaukaha, you take a right at the end and you're gonna go down to Puna. So as they were going down, they turned down to Puna, and he saw these two fishermen. And his rage just overtook him that he leapt. He lele oya I ka pohaku, pahoehoe. He jumps onto that smooth lava and he starts running after these two lawai'a, these two fishermen. Now these fishermen were stunned. Who is this ali'i? And so they ran. And as Kamehameha gained upon them, his foot got pa'a. It got stuck in the pahoehoe lava. And the fishermen looked back and they came to him with one paddle. So one of the lawai'a, the fishermen, hit Kamehameha over the head with a lot of adrenaline. And it splintered and broke. And Kamehameha was shocked and stunned. He was gonna go again with his paddle and hit Kamehameha. And the other fisherman said, "A'ole, kapu ke ola ya kane." Sacred is life to the akua kane. And that allowed that fisherman to take a breath, and they just ran away. They understood that life was sacred to not them, but only to Kane. Now quickly, the retainers of Kamehameha had secured the canoe and had finally got to him. They helped him get his foot unstuck, and then they asked him, "Do you want us to run after these two?" And he said, "A'ole, don't go after them. I have learned a ha'awina, a lesson today." And what he did with that lesson was when he unifies the islands under one rule, his first Kānāwai, his first law was called the law of the Splintered Paddle, or Kānāwai Māmalahoe. And I want to read it to you because of the fidelity of the Ōlelo Hawaiʻi. Because when we look at this Ōlelo Hawaiʻi, we're going to understand the amount of aloha that Kamehameha felt and feels for his people. So the Kānāwai goes like this. E nā kanaka, my people, e mālama o kou I ke akua, honor thy gods. A e mālama ho'i I kanaka nui, respect all and rights of all. A me kanaka iki, the men great and humble. E hele ka elema kule, ka lua hine, a me ke kama. See it to that our aged men and women, and even to our young children, a moe I ke ala, a ohe mea nana e ho'opilikia, heaven no make. That all of our people can lie down to sleep by the roadside without fear of harm. Disobey this and you will die. He understood by his life being protected by the fishermen that everyone in his kingdom should feel safe, that everybody can actually lie on the side of the street when they're tired on their way and not be feared of being harmed. And when we look back at that law of Kamehameha, it really speaks to that aloha that is ingrained in every person that is here in Hawaii. When we truly connect to our home, we understand that Hawaii should always be a place that has overwhelming aloha. And in that aloha is that not only mutual respect, but that care for each other. And there's an Ōlelo no Eao that also speaks to this, and it's aloha I ke kahi, love one another. And when we can actually feel that for ourselves, we can always share that with everyone.
Ah, that was so good. I have a question. Why was Kamehameha so upset when he saw them?
So there's different accounts to the Moʻolelo, and partly one says that he was in battle and he lost. And he was a young Kamehameha. Although he was still an ali'i, a chief, he was learning, right? And he was learning his emotion, what we call emotional capacity, right, today. And he was learning to control that. That's one account. In another account, they said that he was actually looking for sacrifices, because in his journey to become the great Kamehameha Nui, that great Kamehameha, he created many heiau, right? Many sacred spaces, and he needed sacrifices. And one of the interesting things about Kamehameha is with human sacrifice, he's the one who would actually put the corpse and everything on top of the lele, the place you place it. And that wasn't normal usually. It really wasn't the ali'i that would do those kinds of things. It was the kahuna. But what I really respect about Kamehameha is he always did things. You know, when he built heiau, when he built things, he was right there with his people. And that's one of the differences, I think, as we learn more about our ali'i and our royalty, that Kamehameha had that kind of servant leadership, you know?
Yeah. There's so many things and parallels that I was feeling and hearing in that mo'olelo with today. And I was curious what it meant to you, hearing the law, listening to the story and seeing how that is either, present in today, or maybe we could do better with that
We
today.
definitely can do better,
Yeah.
right? One of the things that didn't have back then though was the drug problems and the mental health issues at the high that we have now. And so that's one of the reasons why I have grace for us, because many times I live on the west side of Oahu, and I pass many homeless camps and everything. And I have conversations with my teenage daughter about this, because she interacts, right, with them riding the bus and everything. And we talk a lot about it, actually, because we should be taking care of them.
Yeah.
But we cannot, because of the mental health issues, the drug issues, the safety issues that happen. So that's the difference. But I do remember a time being of an older age, you know, where we didn't really have, I grew up in Hilo, and we didn't have homeless people, you know?
Yeah.
And so I know that it's still within us. It's just that there are different challenges of today that we have to still figure out.
The thing that stood out to me was how he was saying that we approach everything with love and aloha. And I was like, when I go online now, it seems like that is an open door for negativity. Like whenever you see a story or something put up, almost always like the first comments are something combative or trying to, get a negative reaction. And I was like, that's such an opposite approach, where you come in with these lenses of anger, kind of like how Kamehameha was when he first ran into the fishermen. And then I was like, man, imagine what it could be like if in our society it was reversed, where you approach any kind of situation or story with love and aloha. Like how quickly that could actually help mend a lot of things, versus when you come in with this anger and negativity, like there's nothing will change that emotion until something drastic happens, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot of strength though,
Yeah.
because when you get that combative, our natural instinct is to match that, right?
Yeah.
But if we can always remember that aloha is our foundation, because we are people of Hawaii, you know, and that aloha is what grounds us to the aina, to our kai, to all our environment, that we can take that breath like he did, like the fisherman did. He was able to get reminded, take that breath, and you can leave. You don't have the right really to take a life. And I actually utilize that with my own children a lot of times. It's like reactionary is usually not the best, right? And if we can take a breath, you can allow that aloha to come into you and then make a better decision. And it's not easy,
Yeah.
not easy.
Man, you're right. When you bring that up, it's like I feel that when I'm upset, before I would just feel so like I have every right to be upset. So I'm just going to embrace this anger. And nowadays, as much as I feel that, I go, I really need to take a second because inevitably, 9 times out of 9, I'll turn out after things settle down, like, I really wasn't right to be upset. And I feel embarrassed by it. And so now I've been working on doing that, taking a breath, taking a step back, and just letting the other emotions come in. Like you said, like letting the aloha come in. And it's like, wow, what a powerful lesson and tool.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that it just came from so many generations before. It's always been here, this tool, this lesson.
And you know what's
Yeah.
really cool is that Auntie Pilahi Paki, who was mentor to many, she created a law that is still in our law today, right? It's the Aloha Spirit Law. And in the Aloha Spirit Law, it actually says, and I giggle because it actually says that we are mandated to show aloha to each other.
Ah.
And so I always joke, I wish there was a way for us to enforce that,
Yeah.
and maybe we could, right? By sharing mo'olelo,
Yeah.
by, having programs that remind us, because that's all we need.
Mm-hmm.
All we need is reminders.
Yeah. Because as you said, it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there. And we don't want to cancel anybody's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to have the tool. Get reminded that, yes, you're going to feel angry. You're going to feel shame. You're going to feel guilt. But you know what? Just take that breath. Let the aloha fill you that's within you. And then you can make a better decision, right? In that situation at that time. And that's one of the things I think about also when I look back at historical mo'olelo. Like this one is true, right? A true historical mo'olelo. And I always think, there are decisions that are being made that sometimes you're like, why did they do that? Why did they do that? We don't know because we weren't there at that time. And we have to have grace for that too. And remember that people make decisions based on the environment of that moment, and have grace for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes maybe we look back, we're like, oh, that wasn't really good. But it was what happened at that moment.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the times that my anger comes from a lack of grace for myself,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm projecting my negative feelings about myself to someone else because I feel like I got to give it to somebody.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's what happened with Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Right? He had been filled with this rage and it was overwhelming. And so in actuality, he was trying to find someplace to transfer that anger. And that was interesting. And what I also think is fascinating is the Aina stopped him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost like the Aina like bit him a little bit and made him stop. And that's where the aloha, that's identifiable aloha of our Aina. If you really look back at some of the things that happened to you in your life, the Aina actually stopped you.
Yeah.
Or did something to protect you or your family,
Yeah.
It's really fascinating. That's why I love this mo'olelo, because the Aina is active in it.
And that's why it's so valuable that we are making such an effort to connect back to Aina. Because I think because of that disconnect, we don't have that connection of those like little lessons or little, hey, you're going too far, let me stop you.
And that's why it's great because many of the organizations that are featured in your program and everything, giving back to them is connection to Aina. And, we live in a world where we can't do it all the time.
Yeah.
If our job is not that, and that's fine. But then make sure, right, that you have opportunity to connect back to the Aina. That's where the balance comes in. Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited about this. I mean, this is just the first mo'olelo we heard. I feel like we could do thousands of these, and each time I'm gonna have this same kind of feeling. I really love this, and I'm so grateful to you for taking this energy and this intention to share with us. This is gonna be so helpful.
Yeah, mahalo. I really am full of gratitude of mahalo, because the more that we can look back at our mo'olelo, at our stories, the better it'll be for us to be the best version of ourselves.